So, I'm here again for the second take with Rawn Shah from IBM at the Social Business Forum in Milan. The question of these 2 days, or the key question of this year's conference here at the 2 days is about we are going from social to business. Does this already reflect the reality out there within the E2O sphere and social business sphere?
So from this conference, I've seen a number of different presentations that all talk about how businesses should reflect on what social means to them. Steve Denning, it was earlier this morning, it was about delight the customer. And it was entirely about the rationale for why businesses are doing that. In that premise there was basically if you delight the customer, it's not necessarily the goal, but you will, certainly businesses will increase, revenues will increase, it'll also make customers happy, it'll make employees happy and such. Now, I took a different approach for my presentation, which was more about what actually is happening. What is the anthropological view of the business? As in, so the examples I gave is about how organization structure is changing. Whether you can help it or not, there are things where the role of different parts of the business, so different what we call silos in business, are now starting to overlap. And you see this in marketing is one of the hardest hit. They are they're affected very significantly by that. But some of the things that they're doing is building relationships. Now, if you think about it, well, is that is that their goal? Really, it's actually salespeople think they are the relationship point with customers. Service people think they have the longer relationship with customers. So which group is it? This is social CRM. You're going to build a relationship with that, but who should do that? So one of the concerns in terms of business executives is this is a future problem. Which of my business units, which of the parts of my company should be handling something like that? Does that mean that we need to change the way that we do business? So there are other parts of it, like I gave the example of TD Bank. It is a customer of ours, and what they were doing was sort of the human resources view of keeping a business open on an extra day, Sunday, their banking. And they were very much looking at the employee perspective. So if the employees are not happy, obviously when you open that bank on Sunday, you never know what will happen with the customer. So it really affects the relationship. So now HR is concerned about the relationship with the customer as well. TD Bank's view was actually how do we keep the employees happy for working this extra day? The way that they actually did it was with social conversation across the company. Now that really changes how people feel. When it's an isolated problem, when you're alone and you think you're the only one suffering this, and you multiply that by the tens of thousands of people or whatever number of people working there, it just feels like a bigger burden. When you're sharing that, you can talk about what is the issue that's really at heart, what really bothers you. So when they did that, it actually changed the statement of concern and worry about working on a Sunday towards, well, we are helping our customers. We are delighting our customers, like Steve Denning had, which basically gets back to this is a good thing for us, a good thing for everyone. So, excuse me. This is happening in different parts, at different levels of the business. It's a question that I put forward is, well, what will a business actually look like when that starts happening?
So, but we also heard from Steve Denning that we need a rethinking on the managed board level. And he also emphasized at the end that all those social business project managers and evangelists should take or should make the step forward and walking the talk and do some little steps to convince the management board. So don't we just need to do those small incremental steps to show the value of social business to convince the management board and then bring them to enforce the change?
Organizational change happens in many different areas, and this was a question Mr. Sasson asked at our Senior Sasson asked at our panel yesterday, which of the different areas is the change affected by the culture? Is the change affected by the operations and process, by the management view, or is it human, personal psychology? And my point was that you have to hit several of those at the same time. Which one do you do first? I think you'd have to do both the individual and at the management level at the same time. Employees want to know that it's useful to them on an individual basis. This will actually help me do my job better. But they also need to know that first, I have permission to do this from my management. There's actually we see that a lot. I don't know if management allowed me to do this. It's nice. You can say what it is, but my manager may say ignore that. So you do need to convince the management and the executives that this is a good thing for them as well. It's a good thing for the business. And those explanations that you give the individual, how you tell a story in the individual is very different than how you tell a story to the manager. It's not the facts that are different, but it's the presentation. And on a personal level, you need a lot. There are some quantitative, but people react in different ways. So you want information about how it's changing the process, how the stepwise will be better, but you also want qualitative information. How is it exciting people? Why do people like that? They want the feeling, the emotion, as well as the action itself. So those have to go together. It's same on the business level. And there it's going to be more on the why is this good for our business? And then on the other hand, as you can also say, and there are many managers interested in this, is will it make my employees work more? Will it make them happier? You make them, they use terms like engagement. I like the other word, which is passion. Are you passionate about your work? So that we know actually increases productivity. So it's a good step to have them both at the same time.
Thank you for the answers.